All right. It's your boy, Assad. I'm back. What's that smell? Anyway, I'm doing this live, man, this morning, man. I'm just trying to get out there, man, and put some information out there that might be beneficial to somebody. Because I actually don't know who really need to hear this other than me. Because this is for me first. Human beings have two makeups, a higher self and a lower self. The Egyptians used to express this in the esoteric lessons of the Sphinx. You notice the Sphinx had a man head, but he had a lion's body, representing the higher self, the intellect, and the lower self, the instincts, the self that survives upon instinct. And then the lessons begin in how to recognize and how to utilize these two selves. Today, this brief reminder is for you to pay attention to the higher self. Because if you living in this world today, 2022, it's a good chance that you are already living on your lower self, living by instincts, driven by desires and whims. But in order to remove yourself and put yourself back in your proper status as a man, as an intelligent human being, capable of a reasoning, capable of applying logic, a man. In today's world, man, if the majority of the people are doing it, it's a problem. For example, in our neighborhoods, well, at least in my neighborhood, the majority of the people are using intoxicants. And these people can range from 12 years old to 85. The majority of the people in my neighborhood is using intoxicants. Children, young adults, the elderly, excuse me, they're using drugs, intoxicants. Using intoxicants, the use of intoxicants is is consumed to escape reality. And the reality that people are trying to escape, at least in my community, is the environment. They're trying to escape the reality of the environment in which they were born in. They were raised in. And and people have a design on their lives that they, the majority, will die there. They will be born in poverty. They will live in poverty. And they will die in poverty while telling them they live in the richest nation of the world. Now, we have hundreds, if not thousands of people pointing out the problem that we have amongst each other in our communities, amongst ourselves. We have hundreds of people telling us the problem. They explain the problem so eloquently, but they don't bring solutions. They don't bring solutions. They don't carry the solution back to where the problem began. And that was in the building blocks of a society or community, the home. The problem began in the home. So the solution is to address the home to eradicate the problem. Not just say, that's a nice flower you have there. Okay, the flower is nice. You can see that. But what you don't see is the root. You didn't see the seed that was planted to make that beautiful flower. Okay, we can see our community is raggedy, but we can't see the root cause, the seed that made it problematic, because we don't go back to the root of the problem, the family unit, the home. That is the place where the first teacher build a society. The first teacher in that home builds the neighborhood. It is the first teacher in that home that creates the environment and the conditions in which the children are going to live and be raised up in. It all began in that house. If the first teacher, whom is the mother, if she miseducate that kid is going to come out into the neighborhood with that miseducation that he learned from his mother, or she learned from her mother. Lack of morals, no spiritual attachment, no guidance, selfishness, immorality, bankruptcy in every area. No economical education, bankruptcy there, bankrupt in that. No real communication skills because the mother don't have it. Bankrupt communication skills. So we have children coming out of these homes where the parents themselves are bankrupt, morally, economically, socially, spiritually. They're bankrupt. However, they think they are the geniuses of the community. But if that was true, how did that kid, that one that's on the other side of that door, walking around with pistols, that woman, that sister out there prostituting, that boy out there robbing people, the one down the street selling drugs, why is over 60% of the community locked up or on parole and probation waiting on bedding? It go back to that home, the building block. The building block of a society. What is taught there comes outside the front door and make communities. If if it is taught inside that house that Walmart is your friend and when is a friendly place to shop, Walmart is the best place to shop. It's easy, it's convenient, it got everything you want. If you teach your children that, and I teach my children that, and the next door neighbor teach his kids that, there will never be room for to build a Walmart in your own community amongst your own selves and create the logistics to keep it supplied. You will never have that incentive to do that because you don't possess that. You don't see the importance of that. So you couldn't teach that to your children. You grab them by the hand and take them to an established business like Walmart who really don't care anything about you. They have no love. They will not give back to you nor to your children. You will never come up with a mini mark or any infrastructure in which you can put your creativity in. If the first teacher teach the children that Walmart is the solution, then they will never attempt to build and produce for themselves. The first teachers only raising them to be consumers. So stop being consumers. Fix the problem. The problem is right there in the house, the building block. What is taught there comes out the front door. If use of intoxicants, gambling, lying, stealing, and cheating was a violation in this house and the neighborhood, that's what the kids would bring outside. And a person who lies, steal, and cheat, they would be frowned upon. He's a liar. My mom said we can't hang with those type people. My dad don't approve of that type of company. My dad said that person right there will remain in the consumer position because of the position he takes about his economics. He will always remain spiritually bankrupt because of his position on religion and its need. Fix the home, man. The problem that we see in the street can only be fixed by fixing where it began there, in the home. It began in the home. Not teaching children spiritual and moral values. Not teaching people, the children in the homes, economics, group economics. Not teaching the children in the home that there are certain things that should be held sacred, be free from any harm or threat from their tongue or their hands, that your property, meaning the parents and their siblings' property, and the people outside in the neighborhood, we need to teach them that all of them have rights, that they have a right to be safe from physical harm, a right from their property being stolen and sold off for pennies, and a right to have their honor protected. You should teach in your houses that each and every individual, Muslim or non-Muslim, have these rights, that they should be free from our speech and our hands. We're not going to shed their blood unjustly. We're not going to take their property unjustly. We're not going to slander them or destroy their honor. These things are sacred and safe from our speech and our hands.